Hi, Tony Arroyo for BMT, and we're downtown right now at the Jacob Javits 2011 Comic-Con, which you can see right across the street here from the big Marvel sign. We're going to go inside in a little while and meet some very talented people. The Marvel and DC, that's fine, but we've been told by a little bird on the wall that there's some very, very talented, independent artists and writers here. We're going to get these people on camera, let them tell you a little bit about themselves, and I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. Why don't you come on inside and join us? I think you'll have a lot of fun. All right, we're here at Hervatski Comic Book Press with John, the entrepreneur of this fine booth, and I'm going to let you take the ball and run with it. The first thing I'm going to ask you is Hervatski. Now, I have to know about that because I read it wrong the first time. I thought it was the Watsky. So clue us in on what that means.
It's Hervatski. It's the Croatian word for the Croatian language. I'm Croatian, but it's a misspelling, so it's unique in and of itself, and it's phonetically spelled as well. So if you spelled it correctly, it's Hrvatski,
Gotcha.
and no one's ever going to put that into a website web address. They're going to forget it. So put in the E and we're fine.
Listen, tell us about what you have going on here. Start with Alice in Never Neverland, because we know the traditional Alice, but breach us about this, because I think everybody will be interested in that.
Alice in Never Neverland is a story of Neverland and Wonderland merging together, and Alice and Peter have to join forces to stop Captain Hook and the Red Queen. So it's a lot of action, a lot of magic. It doesn't get too far out there in the theory of the two worlds. It's just a good, clean, story full of action and adventure. And we thought of it maybe half a year ago. We have the preview book out here right now, first 5 pages, and the book's due out next year.
Okay, you were talking about another project, and I like this concept. Now, this person's been on Earth 3,000 years, and you bridge it from there. I like that concept.
It's a book called The Sound of Life. It's a story of humanity seen through the eyes of an alien. Essentially, an alien stranded on Earth 3,000 years ago, and he ages a lot slower than humans, so he's waiting for humanity's technology to catch up so he can use it to go back to his people. And along the way, he explains the meaning of life and how it pertains to humans. Essentially, life contains 7 aspects. There's 7 aspects to the universe, and he explains each one and how they intertwine and work together and feed back into each other. So the whole book is essentially full-page spreads with a nice piece of art on the left side, and the same art on the right side with the transparency brought up, and he's narrating it. And when he starts interacting with some of these figures, it breaks into panels, and then it goes back to the full-page spreads. So it's this whole self-contained story.
So you do both. You're an artist and you're a writer.
I'm an artist on Johnny Unicorn. That's the extent of my artistic ability, stick figures, yeah. And then I have artists draw these stories for me, but I write mostly.
Listen, what's Johnny Unicorn about?
Johnny Unicorn's a weekly web comic that's the adventures of Johnny Unicorn. They basically just go to McDonald's all the time. So it's kind of a stream of consciousness sort of thing. It's real funny. Today we have a calendar, a 14-month calendar, and I added a whole bunch of funny things on all the dates. The thing I hate the most about a calendar, you have this great image up top, and then it says, Groundhog's Day. Yeah. That's it. It's like, give me something to look at for the whole year,
As far as the comic is concerned itself, do you see any real time and investment to develop a comic strip as an app? Now, it seems like everybody's going for an application for a phone or a downloadable application for a computer. That's the world. There's no getting around it. Do you think there's a market for something that doesn't move? A simple joke of the month or a joke of the week? Or does it always have to be in motion? Does it always have to be kinetic? Are we still a reading, words on the page society, depending, seeing how we're going?
Definitely, that's what I see is lacking on these that mobile platform. You have all these beautiful web comics that you have to, do 3, 4 clicks, 5 clicks, so on and so forth to get to it, and it's one joke, and people will visit it once a day, and yet there's no application where you just press one button on your iPhone and get the current comic, and then you're done with it. That's all a webcomic basically is. It's about 2 to 3 minutes worth of entertainment, and then you're done with it. But I'm taking 5 minutes to get to it. It's counterintuitive. So there's definitely an area for these apps for these types of comics where you get it and then you're done. But people, they're looking more towards, when they're putting out these webcomics, the advertising. Put out the content first, get the content out there, get people involved, and then later on, try and recoup some of your losses on the products and everything like that. There's definitely a market for, apps in that respect.
When you look around this convention, it's not about really Marvel and DC or the big names. The independent guys, the entrepreneurs, the tabletop guys like myself actually, and these other men and women here doing their own, it's a dream. And when you can give it physicality like this, it's really, really cool. I think this is the wave of the future. The internet has started, it gives and it takes away. It's got its downside, but this is the top side of it. It's right here. This is all like an indoor football field size fantasy, and I think that having your own dream come off is a good thing.
Yeah, it's great. I love the different sections, but I also find it kind of lacking. I have to go to the farthest section of the convention to get to Small Press or Artist Alley. You would think it'd be a little more melded together, accessible. That's my dream. One day, if I ever become some big publisher, I want to have this big space out in the middle of the convention with little areas in the space for these independent publishers that I don't charge them anything, I don't get a cut of nothing, but they get to meld together with these comics that are selling, 10, 20, 30,000 copies a month. So they get to have this experience of, it's one big family. It's not big sections, cordoned off, different genres, whatever. It's one big comic family.
Well, in a day and age, in a day and age of super duper graphics and all that, there's still room for a comic book. It all emanates from that anyway. So and you must not be originally from New York because you're too polite.
Yeah, I think Los Angeles. Yeah, Los Angeles.
Okay, he's a Cali guy. Thank you for your time, John.
Thank you.
Oh, as a matter of fact, tell us a website to go to so they can find us.
Hervatski.com, HERVATSKI.com.
And thanks for the soda before.
Thanks, no problem.
Have a good day. Tony Arroyo. Hi, Tony Arroyo for BMT, and I'm not even going to wait for these two to introduce themselves. These are my cousins, Corey, Derek. Tell everybody what you're doing down here and why you have this spot and this badass stuff that you're doing, because it looks good.
All right. My writer name is Da Shen, and I'm actually selling a science fiction novel that I wrote, and it's about an immortal that's been around since prehistoric time, and he decided to stay alive because the world was getting progressively worse since he was a child. Well, not since he was a child, but since his time, the world was getting progressively worse. And he decided he wasn't going to go away until he was able to rectify it. And he understands that in his bloodline is going to be the one that comes about that can change and bring everything back to normal and stabilize everything. So that's basically what that novel's about. But it's not really so much about him, but it's about one of his descendants' best friend, who exhibits some wild, fantastic powers that gets him all enthralled with him, and it's the chaos that ensues with that. Then also I have a couple of my short stories here, The Atrophied Man and The Time of My Life. And both.
No, I don't want to intervene here, but the book does have a name. Can we have the name of the book, Derek?
I did. I said the Rufel.
Okay,
the Rufel by Da Shen. That's RUEFUL. I can't do no anything with this guy. RUEFUL. All right, you can get it at Amazon.com. You can see me on Facebook, DA_SHEN, Da Shen. All right, and also take over my cousin Corey, CF Garwell.
Hey, how you doing?
Now, tell us what you're doing. And I'm seeing something. I got it upside down, and I can't even see it. The boy from planet
Hey. Yes. It's about a boy from basically from a ghost Earth. He's from the Earth. Basically, the book is about the Earth having a soul, and like every other living thing, he's from the spirit world. He wants to unite the spirit world and Earth because Earth is becoming hell, and that's basically the basic premise of it. I can't give you too much.
We don't want any secrets, and even the government can't give too many secrets away. So how long you been drawing, and what got you, what got you inspired in all this in the first place?
I've been drawing all my life. I've been collecting comic books since '78. It's just something I always wanted to do. Plus, I think I don't want to say it the wrong way, but I think a lot of the black children, Latino kids, they need something to look up to as well. They got Superman, you got Batman. Everyone wants to relate to whoever's on the screen or whoever they're reading about. I feel like it's just it's our turn to get in the market.
Now, outside of Boy from Planet X, anything else you're working on? I see the 52 Sucks T-shirts, which is that's pretty funny.
They'll be available.
Hey, you're not the only one that feels that way.
Oh yeah, apparently not. We're selling pretty well on those, and that's related to the whole DC relaunch of their line and the objectification of women and everything they're doing. It's just a bad call all around. It wasn't well thought out. It wasn't even asked for. It wasn't necessary. We feel it was a money market scheme. So why not start the movement and make some money off of them?
Exactly.
Listen, is there a website we can go to see this stuff?
You can go to thenukleus.com, Nukleus, or you can go to Nukleus Comics, Nukleus.
Let them see.
.com. Here you go.
That's the website on the big black billboard in the back there. And you had a book signing at Barnes & Noble, so, I hope that turns out right. Now, can they still find a book in Barnes & Noble?
Yeah, Barnes & Noble in the Bronx. Let's get that straight. In Co-op City in the Bronx.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a local writer. So
This is regional.
Yeah, it's extremely regional. Yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. Watch, you'll see it. It'll be in a theater near you soon. Watch.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll have a movie. All of these will be movies. Maybe for your kids, but they'll be out there.
Corey, Derek, thank you for your time. Tony Arroyo, BMT. Well, we're going to say goodbye from the 2011 Jacob Javits Comic-Con, and we hope you had as much fun as we did meeting all these wonderfully talented people. And we hope we see you again next time. Tony Arroyo, BMT.